And good morning. Welcome into another installment of Your Life Matters with clinical social worker Dr. Beth Plachetka from Safe Harbor Counseling and Dr. Beth Speaks. And Dr. Beth joins us in studio for a Monday. Doctor, how are we doing today?
I'm good, Mike. How are you doing?
Doing all right. As today we're focusing on, I think we've touched on this topic before, right? Health insurance?
You know, yes. And I think I probably need to say it like 3 or 4 times a year. As I told you when we were getting ready, I just finished explaining to somebody on the phone because and there were a lot of questions. So I know they never go away unless you actually work with it somehow.
Yeah, literally you were walking up the steps on the phone with someone just about this topic. There,
exactly. You know, right up to the minute we were practicing. So what I want people to know is I do think it's overwhelming, and sometimes we just get to the point where we go, oh, well, I'm just going to hope for the best. And that is a financial nightmare. It's always best to know what you're walking into. So I'm going to be like a teacher right now. I'm going back to my old voice. And I'm going to say, get your pencils, turn on your radio or your recorder, get a piece of paper, because I'm going to give you some vocabulary first. And I'm going to go slow, kind of like a spelling test.
Okay.
So the vocabulary, PPO, HMO, in-network, out-of-network, deductible, copay, coinsurance, HSA, flexible spending, primary insurance, and secondary insurance. Now, Mike, not all of those words will apply to everybody.
Right.
But they're going to be bandied about as if everyone knows. And it's important. I think it shows a sign of intelligence when we say to somebody, excuse me just a minute, I don't know what that means. What? And even if we've asked it 5 times, it's so easy to get confused. So, you know, and I'll tell a little bit if we have time at the end, but what I really think people need to do is to take their insurance card out and turn it over and look at the back side. And on there's a customer service number, because I can't tell every single person what their policy is,
right,
and how much their deductible is and how much they've used and what their copay or coinsurance is. I can call and be on that phone for hours or look it up on a website. But it's a guess. It's an estimate.
People come to you and ask that a lot of?
You know, they do, because, you know, like some places run the card, but I mean, like they can look up benefits, but even there, they can't tell what's the most current thing that's been processed.
Right.
So you're really playing a gambling game, and it's not fun to gamble with stuff like this. So look, turn that over and dial that number. Carry your phone around, fold the laundry, do something mindless, because you'll be on hold for a little while, and then write down the person's name, date, time you talk to them. If you get transferred, put the next person's name. So you've got a list in case you have to go back and say, I need some help. But ask them about your specific policy. If it's in network, that means somebody, like I'm in network with Blue Cross Blue Shield. I've had a contract with them. I've said I'll work for a certain amount. That's called in network. People usually have a cheaper deductible and a different kind of copay.
Sure.
If it's out of network, there is no contract. Now, I don't charge that much more, but you don't know what it's going to add up to and when they're going to start kicking in.
Right.
The deductible might be different. It's really important, too, that, like you say to them, is my doctor, and say the name. Is my hospital, and say the name. Are they in network? Sometimes there's specialists who work in hospitals that are not in network, but some of them are. So, and there's an act that they're supposed to give you information about what it could cost you. So you need to know that. So take those words, take those acronyms, find out how it applies to you, because otherwise you can end up with this massive bill.
That's not fun.
No. Well, and we tend to, like, if it starts creeping up, we call people and say, hey, it's getting high. Let's talk. But not everybody can do that.
Right. Well, getting the information is key, and like you said earlier on, asking the questions. Don't just assume you know or want everybody else to think that you know. Get the answers, because it's important stuff for sure. We could have gone on with several more minutes, lots of notes on this, but the best thing to do is to contact the folks at Safe Harbor Counseling. If you'd like to know a little more about this topic or any of the things we discussed, you can always call 630-466-8657. Safe Harbor Counseling has a Facebook presence, and they are also at safeharboril.com. Join us again next time for another installment of Your Life Matters with clinical social worker Dr. Beth Plachetka from Safe Harbor.